Welcome, everyone. You're back live. You made it. You're here. We're session 3. The hair's gotten like a little discombobulated. The face is a little bit like the sun's down, so I don't have that wonderful sunlight coming into this room. I'm tired, but it's going to be okay. All right. So we have quite one little snafu in terms of accountability. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Add that to the stream. By the way, I'm author Elizabeth Ann West. This is session 3 of the epic, mythic Write A Thon with AI, where we're trying to write 50,000 words in a weekend. We're going to need more sessions. Or as they say, we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need more sessions. I'm not sure if other people are here yet. I think there was 9. The chat is open to everyone. If you want to make sure that that chat works, that I can see you talking in the chat window there. So hello, everyone. Let's see if we are in the chat. Do you have any chatters? Oh, I had it selected for top chat, not live chat. Now I can see everybody's. Oh, cool, Harper. Good to see you back. Fantastic. Oh, hey, Tara. Hey, Karen. There's another instructor in the house. I see that I am here. Okay. I want to thank everyone who has made the sessions today. This has been kind of a dream come true. I always said if I could write live in Times Square, I would. Then you get a little bit nauseous about it when you actually do it, but it all worked out. It was fine. We got through. Hi, Becca. Good to see you. Hey, Sylvia. And I don't know if it's L in Solar, Land in Solar. It could be one of the other ones. Okay, but we have some people here. Keep the chat going. I'm going to try to make sure I check the chat a little bit more often this last session because I'm going to recap what we've done a little bit, and we're going to step away from Sudowrite for a little bit, I think, for this session. I don't know about you, but those of you who have watched the 2 sessions, I'm a little overwhelmed by, like, yes, using Sudowrite Story Engine gave me a lot of great words. And I still have a chunk of chapter 1 to edit, and I still have 2 chunks of chapter 2 to edit. So we've gotten 3,000 final draft words. That's where we stand right now. We have another 4,000 words. 4,000 words. That is raw AI. That's what I'm going to call that status. I used to say raw. I would usually do my writing process of like raw dictation and then clean up. So we have 4,000 that is raw AI right now, and it is 9:00 p.m. We had one snafu with the accountability, and that is Sudowrite, actually. So let me go to that one so that I can see what I'm talking about here, and I'll share. Real fast, this page right here is our Future Fiction Academy Write-A-Thon homepage that I set up for this event. So it's a public Notion page. The link is in the description, but I will also go ahead and put that link in the chat real fast so you all have it. And let me know what you think about this format. This event is basically sponsored by Future Fiction Academy. That is the school that I run with Karen Brown, who's in the house, Christine Breen, Leland Artra, and the wonderful Steph Pajonas, who you might know from AI Writing for Authors Facebook group. 8 times a week, we are holding live Zoom classes where we help you with your AI writing troubles. We also teach you how to use the tools, the latest innovations. And unlike, it is still a little bit of fire hose because everything is a fire hose right now with AI, but we do curate the content. So we're not teaching you every tool that any Tom, Dick, and Harry throws out there. We're literally teaching you the ones that are high, that have a possibility to help your productivity or help you if you suffer from a disability or neurodivergence or something like that, where AI helps you. On that topic, I just wanted to say that my daughter, I just introduced her to ChatGPT last night. She wrote 3,500 words in conjunction with the AI. And then today she goes, Mom, I just wanted to write by myself. And she wrote 2,000 words. She's working on a little sci-fi fantasy short stuff. So it's exciting. It's exciting days to be in this genre, be in this industry. I get really excited about how much we can do. And there's Christine Breen. She is in the house. She is in the chat there. She is another one of the instructors at Sudowrite. All right, Kirsten's here. Hello. Just been catching up on session 1. You're in Australia. I hear you. I met some Australian people this morning when I taught Story Engine 101. I was teaching that at 10 a.m. this morning. So I've been going since 8:00 this morning. So I'm doing a 12 to 14 hour day. Yeah, Christine's saying my daughter got more words. Yeah. she's kicking my butt too, honestly. She got 2,000 words and I've gotten more now, but anyway. Yes, Karen's here as well. All right, so let's review. So this kind of walks you through everything in this document for those of you who are brand new. You do have some prompts in here that will help you that we're doing. We're going to add some more prompts probably because we're going to be working with 16K. Actually, I'm probably going to work with 4. We'll see. I really want to work with 4 because I just need to get stuff done. The story outline. This is the story that we're working with. The outline may change, and that's okay. And then down at the very bottom here, we have the human planning. This shows you all of the stuff that I did before I let the AI do anything. So you can see what part was human intuition, ideation, all of that jazz versus what the outline has, because I did have the AI help me with the outline. So you can see how that worked. I made a list of tasks that I need to do, methodologies that I'm going to use. We've been using Sudowrite story engine. We're now going to try this 16K GPT-4 in the playground, I think. And then I had some plans for 7 sessions, and then I went, we'll see, because we were supposed to have Act 1 and 2 done at the first session. We're on session 3 right now. We're starting the 3rd chapter. So maybe where I said acts, I meant chapters. I don't know. With 26 to go, I don't want to do 26 sessions. So this session is going to be a little bit faster because we've been doing this. You guys can catch up in the session 1 and session 2. And I'll have the chat open. Thank you. There's a thing in the chat from Lori, all of the hiccups and pivots. Oh, thank you. That editing session, OMG. I felt like such a failure after. I was like, they're going to think I'm a fraud. All I did was show them how to edit 3,000 words in 2 hours. Like, Elizabeth, that's not helpful for anybody. But maybe not. That's not true. That's an assumption on my part. We know what happens when we assume. I definitely got a lot done, and I had a heck of a lot of fun editing. Like, I love editing with AI. Editing with AI is like my favorite Jimmy Jam. It makes it feel like, all right, let's be real here. How many of us grew up on the choose your own adventure stories? And how many of us has had our hands like this because we were holding the pages in the book? For those who don't know what a choose your own adventure story is, you would read a page or two, and then it would say like if you were a mystery detective, and it was like, okay, and then you hear a sound in the closet, and it's like, do you inspect the closet? Go to page 67. Do you answer the phone? Go to page 22. And at any time, you could go to a page that was seemingly innocent, like go check out the closet. And you open up the closet, and like a 100-pound gorilla comes out and like kills, or 1,000-pound gorilla jumps out and kills you. And you're like, game over. So then you had to flip back to the last page so you could choose the other one. At least I did. That's how I cheated. So yeah, I always died on page 2. Yep. You could not read them sequentially. Okay. So that is the choose your own adventure plans there. So to me, I think editing with AI is a lot like that. And back to my other thought before I turned into squirrel, some accountability. Let's do some accountability here, because we were writing up with our sessions. So here we had session number 2. We talked, caught up, super edit of only chapter 1. Did not finish completely, because I think I'm going to have to break these up into different scenes and everything like that, honestly. But ended up with, let's see here. We are at the gentleman is mine. This is the document that I'm using to control what the final tally is for completed draft words. This is 3,184 words. So we are at 3,184 words left to, finalized. And we'll go to Sudowrite Alpha. I am running 2 Sudowrites because I showed that in session 1. So I have the I stopped here because I was kind of wonked, just tired. 750. So we ended up with 754 left to edit in Kit Bash chapter 1. These are my breadcrumbs for myself in Project Alpha. And then we still have, holy Toledo, we still have chapter 2. We still have, oh my goodness. Chapter 2 is still left to write, to be edited. Chapter 2 still to edit. Now, so let's go to session 3, where we are. Start of the session. I do need to take off real fast. Let me go to StreamYard. I need to take off the share for just 1 second so that I can hop into OpenAI Playground and I can look at my how much money I've spent. I can't show that to you guys because, well, there's like sensitive information that'll be shown if I go to that and it's streaming. So usage. Oh boy. Okay. So full disclosure, June, yesterday, we tapped out at 73 cents on OpenAI. We are now officially into July because it goes by the universal daily thing. It's not the next day for me yet. I'm still June 30th, but for most of the world it is. So looking at July, we are at 4 cents. And this is the start of session 3. Okay, let me go back to Playground. Sorry for that. And let me go back to StreamYard and I'll go ahead and turn back on the share so you guys can. Or were you guys able to see all of that? No. Okay, because it's now here. Okay, cool. Window, live streaming. Nope, I want to go to the Playground one. Okay, so we're not going to be in this page. By the way, to find out your usage, you just click on your name in the top right and you go to your, well, I can do that. And then you go to manage your account. If I click on that, it's going to show you my organizational ID. And I don't want to do that because that's kind of like, you could do things with that. So the Write A Thon, we're back here. So nope, I should be on Future Fiction Academy. Okay, we have spent 73 cents June 30th and 4 cents so far for July. And Sudowrite, this is the big question. So one kind of oops things that happen is my account rolled over yesterday. So what that meant was we were at 504,000. I say we, me. Excuse me. Let me do my math. We started at 504,934. My account received another 300,000 words, probably at about 5 o'clock this afternoon at some point. So that would have taken me to 804,934. I don't think that this is accurate. I think, oh wait, no, it's not 300,000 words. I'm losing my mind. Let's see here. No, it should be more. I guess it added some words to my account. I don't know what. But anyway, I'm now at 674,276 words, and I don't imagine. I mean, it's possible, I guess. I don't think so, though. But that would be 504,934 plus 300,000 would be. Oh, I didn't do my numbers right. 504,934 plus 300,000 words equals that, and minus, I'm at 674,276. According to this, I've used 130,000 words since we started this project. I have a hard time believing that's accurate. So I'll have to check with my contacts there and see if I can't get a better accurate thing. But just to start off with, let's do this. Let's make a new note because I won't roll over again, so we won't have any shenanigans with the words there. I'm at 674,276, and we've only run chapter 1 and 2. Okay, so we're good. I have caught up accountability wise. Let me check the word. Let me check the chat. Okay. Yes, I've been so reminded of them playing with AI. Okay, so I'm not the only one. I'm glad to know that. I was going to shut my door, but my dog is literally laying in my door with her head half in my room and her body in the hall. It's like, no, Mama, you will not shut my door. I'm going to lay here. So apologies if you hear some sounds from my house. Oh, that's entirely possible. If I hadn't used them all up, I would have lost them, though. That is correct. So it's my word pack. Okay. I don't know how to calculate that now at this point. That seems like an algebra problem. which I can usually do algebra, but not on a day like this. So I think I did lose words that did not roll over. So some X amount of words did not roll. Some X amount of words were lost. So it's fine. We'll just calculate from now. It's all good. It's close enough. Okay. So let me go ahead and go to Future Fiction Academy and let's get going. So I'm going to change things up now because I'm a little bit overwhelmed with I do like the methodology of doing the different chapters and chapter 2 and everything like that. But I think we can just skip to like writing with OpenAI, 16K, 4K. Who likes that idea? Am I the only one? We good? So we're not going to do Sudowrite Story Engine. We're going to do some playground magic. Okay. I will probably be using a lot of ChatGPT 4, which you do have to get access. You do have to apply for it. So let me show you. In Playground API. Again, if anyone from OpenAI is watching, I'd really like access to 32K. That would be great. So I think it's on this page. GPT-4 is available, and it's the API waitlist, and this is the waitlist. So here is the waitlist, which I'll probably fill it out again and beg for 32K. Pretty please. I would love the 32K. You'll need your company name, your organization ID. When you don't know what your organization ID in your OpenAI, just click this little link right here where it says account settings, and that will take you right to the page that shows you your organizational ID. And then give it the information. I'll probably give them the link to this YouTube and be like, please, can I have 32K? I'd really like to write books with it. I'll pay the $1, I promise. I say the $1 because it basically runs like $1 every time you run it, just about. All right, so let's go. We need to work on chapter 3. So I'm going to need this page because I'm going to need to start making a mega prompt. All right, so let me go ahead and let's borrow a mega prompt. So marketing, pitch, and blurb. I think there was something here where I asked it for how to write this book. This is kind of some advanced stuff that we're doing here. Sure. Okay. Let me clear my jump cut, and we're going to mega prompt. Mega prompt is what we all call, basically, in other words, it's context stuffing. It's like this chunk and this chunk and this chunk. Read this chunk and now do this task. So we're going to take advantage of the system prompt. So I like to always construct my mega prompts by first thinking like, what do I need construction wise? So first thing I need is persona. How to write it, because that's step 1. And then I'm going to say, like, this is what we're doing. The task is defined. And then I need the story information, and it's going to be the pitch and hook, the character list, and the outline. Okay, so that's what I need. So once I do this, now I can start filling this in. And I'm going to be a little bit T-Rexy right now because it's the end of the day and it's 14 hours and, you know, I'm exhausted. So we're going to ask the AI to actually help us with this. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT 4 and I'm going to say, write me a prompt that will have an AI write best-selling, exciting novel manuscript. Novel manuscript is a phrase that I have kind of cottoned on to lately with writing with AI. It's what I mean by I want the stuff that's on the page of the book. Exciting novel script for readers of Regency romance and Jane Austen fan fiction, because I am a juxtaposition of that, where the AI is given a synopsis, character list, and full scene outline. There we go. Write me a prompt that'll have an AI write a best-selling da-da-da. So here we go. Your manuscript should feature the intricacies of high society life, tension of love and duty, the inner strength of our female protagonist, create a narrative that captures the societal norms, use a style that's reminiscent of Jane's. So I'm going to change this and tweak it. Perfect. I like it. This is a good persona. So I'm going to put the persona in here. Not there. I sometimes hate Notion when the way it does this. So now I'm going to make edits to this. Using the provided synopsis, character list, and full scene outline, generate a thrilling, engaging manuscript for a Regency. Let's highlight. Your manuscript should feature intricacies. Okay, create a narrative that captures the societal norms. That's fine. Rich in irony. Okay, but we want to add this. However, update it for contemporary audiences with shorter sentences, shorter sentences sprinkled in, and slightly less formal dialogue that uses period appropriate vocabulary. These are just adjustments I make for my own personal style. Ensure use of appropriate. Okay, so there we go. We have that too. Keep in mind to portray strong, independent, intelligent women who challenge the societal norms of their time, which is a key characteristic of Austen's novels. Cool. Plot lines. The goal is to create a manuscript. So and the task is defined as well, kind of. You will be writing novel manuscript only one scene at a time. This is important. So that's the task defined. So that's good in the thing. So now I need the story information. And it actually, the pitch and hook, it's calling it the synopsis. So I want to echo back the variables up here, the synopsis, character list, and full scene outline. So synopsis, character list, and full scene outline. I want to make sure that that's matchy-matchy. And now, it's all caps. Construction of a mega prompt. Now I need my components that go into here. So I don't have them in my jump cut. Yeah, I did not already grab them. So for those, I'm going to need to go to, actually, I have them in Story Engine. That's probably the fastest way to get it, other than my characters. So synopsis, I've got it. Style, I'll grab that too. I'm not going to grab that outline because I'm going to use the other outline that is better for Story Engine. And that is not in this page. This is in this page. Man, I'm lost. I don't know what outline that is. So we'll go with the beats because I know this outline works. So this is, I can actually give it the full story outline because we're going to be working in 16K or at least 5K, which is 4K. That's very confusing. Okay. Which is ChatGPT 4. Not 4K, it's 8K. So 8K stands for 8,000 tokens. 8,000 tokens is about 5,000 words. GPT 3.5 has 16K, which is 10,000 words. There we go. Okay, so we have the story outline, and then the last thing I need is the character list, which I do have right here. Major characters, minor characters, and I've already edited those too. So I have those pieces. So now I'm ready to go back to my mega prompt and put these pieces in. So my synopsis was right here using the provided, so right there, that one. Sometimes Notion does not want to do the move it down. Okay. Style of writing. I'm going to put this in here just so that it has this information as well. Third person limited, formal, and complex, just so we have here. You know, it's not really slow and introspective pacing. That's okay, whatever, we'll leave it. It doesn't make sense to me as a human, but it's been writing pretty well. So it's an AI that came up with that. So I'm going to go with it. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're just like, what the heck? This doesn't make any sense. And It doesn't make sense to a human, but it apparently makes sense to an AI. So we'll just leave it the way it is. Full scene outline. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the actual outline. Okay, there we go. Story outline. So we want. So this is where I have scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Okay, so our total mega prompt is 4,000 words. So probably 16K is better. But we'll see. We'll see what we need to do. We may not need this synopsis when we have this information here. I might cut the synopsis actually, now that I think about it, because it may cause some we'll see how it goes. All right, so we're going to take out the persona because I don't want that there anymore. And I don't need the character list and all of that. Okay, so we're good. Mega prompting away. So we'll capture. Oh, why are you not like selecting all is not the easiest thing in the world to do with oh, I guess it is with file select all. Edit select all? Edit select all. Yeah, I tried that and it did not work. With the shortcut. Sometimes it wants to capture what's on the left-hand side too. So yeah, see, it grabbed my mega prompt too. Okay, I'll just take it out. Not a big deal. So coming over to Playground, we're going to paste in the mega prompt. It is a very big mega prompt. We'll take the mega prompt out. Interesting that bolding turns into a hashtag in system. I will note that. Okay. We're going to write Act 1, Scene 3. But first, you will write a step-by-step set of instructions to write that scene that I will approve before you write novel manuscript. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it at max, and we're going to put the presence penalty at 1, and we will go to GPT-4 in the model and see how this works. This might be too much for it, but we'll see what happens. Step by step for Act 1, Scene 3. Begin by setting the locale. The grounds of Netherfield Estate. Picturesque. Okay. Elizabeth, Caroline Bingley, and Mr. Darcy. Fantastic. I like it. Elizabeth, perceiving Caroline's tactics, decides to step in. She subtly steers the conversation towards literature. Okay, I like that too. And conclude the scene. Okay, we have 8 steps. Now you could go write step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We might need to do that, but I don't think so. Great. Write that scene you just outlined. Act 1, Scene 3. In novel manuscript form. Go. Let's see what it does. Well, there we go. And this methodology is a lot more relaxing. Let me go check the chat because we were kind of all over the place. What I wrote to generate the mega prompt. Yeah, I can show what I wrote when I asked. I'll share the ChatGPT thing, and then I'll share the construction of it. So we'll come and we'll review this in a minute. So the mega prompts, I'll put it down here. I'm not going to share the exact mega prompt because that wouldn't help you. You don't need that mega prompt. So step 1 is brainstorm elements needed. This is like constructing. So I needed the persona, I needed the task, and then I needed story information, synopsis, character list, scene outline. And then in ChatGPT-4, I asked, it's not actually a very complicated prompt. So I did this, and then what I got back what I got back became the persona. I made changes. Then I made my mega prompt with the pieces above. So hopefully, is that enough information for you guys to be able to do it on your own with your own books? Does that make sense to everyone? I'll give you guys a chance to respond back. There's always a little bit of a delay here. So when I pause here, it's not because I'm not paying attention. It's because I'm waiting for the chat to respond back. So does that give you guys enough information for how to make a mega prompt? And these skills and stuff, this is the skills that we're all going to need to have. There's lots of information out there about prompting and working with the AI. However, very little of it is geared towards writing fiction. Most of it is geared towards nonfiction, or it's geared towards like business applications and stuff. So that's one of the other reasons why we started the Future Fiction Academy, because I'm like, if no one's going to look out for creatives, and also our industry is divided. There's like half of us that are like anti-AI and like don't want to touch AI. And I understand why they're that way. I don't happen to agree with them. And so my focus for what's next in my career for probably the next 10 years is I'm focusing on helping creatives to be able to use the AI, because I don't want creatives left behind. So that's what we'll do. So here's what happens often with when you write in this and not story engine. If I select all of this and I word counter plus, we have 465 words. That's not enough. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, great. Make that scene even longer. And I'm going to hit the max. And that's the problem. Not entirely, because we started in 4. This is kind of a neat little trick. We started in 4. You can change it over to 16K turbo. And now my model level is not that thing. So now I click submit. And we're still back in business. And 3.5 is going to write better, because guess what? It already has an example of great writing in the context window from 4. So this is one of the strategies you can use if you have access to GPT-4 in your playground. You can get it started and then jump to its little brother, and you have the bigger context window. So here we have more information. Let's see how much it wrote here. Grab this, write a counter plus. 658, we're getting there. I think there's actually more to the story. Is there more? There we go. So I wasn't sure that it was done yet. Now, there are some promptings out there that'll say, like, add this at the end if you're done. I find that that works only half the time. So I just read it and check to see if it's done or not. It's the sun. Oh, dear. It got boitis. It got boitis so bad. And I think it had them, like, get together. His lips parting in anticipation. Miss Bennett, I must admit that my initial perception of you was clouded by prejudice. You can't fix the story in chapter 3. Have you lost your mind? Okay. I don't love it. I don't love it. And this is one of the reasons why I use Story Engine sometimes, because for what I really need, it's not bad. It's just too short. Like, it would just take me a lot of work to make this longer and figure it out and everything like that. So, well, I had high hopes for this methodology. Maybe we can fix it. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what's going on with the actual chapter. Chapter 3. You know what? Oh, this is a problem. When I copied and pasted, it didn't. I had bad formatting in here. Let me take that out. All right. I'm going to save it all just because, but I'm going to call this a fail whale. This is not my favorite, what it did. And now I'm just copying everything. And we're going to, what are we going to do next here, Elizabeth? first of all, we'll capture that stuff that I did. So let's come back to the Write A Thon for me, and I'm going to go into the beats, and I'm going to go Chapter 3 experimentation with OpenAI Playground. Let's see if we can do something different. Turn into page. And now I will just paste everything, because I know the order we're going to write. No, not there. I'm down here. And this is one thing that kind of sucks about writing with Playground, I will say. It really turns you into the secretary of the AI. I've talked about that quite a bit in lab of this is GPT-4 now changed to 16K. Because I remember that I did that. And I'm like, great. Great. Make that scene even longer. You could not do that. And then we have, is there more? And then it says, yes. All right, so let's do a couple of adjustments. First adjustment I want to make is I want to take out the synopsis in my system. That will free me up with that'll free me up some stuff, because we're going to have the whole outline in there. It's fine. And we already have this long persona in there. So I'm going to come out here and I'm saying use the provided character list and full scene outline. Next, I'm going to keep this scene by scene instructions. And then I'm going to just take all of this out. Is there more? No, there's not. If there is, I don't care. We're not making it longer right now. And we're going to take that part out, and we're going to take this part out, just so that we've got a clean thing. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to 4, because now we have more room in our model. Because now if I grab this information, word counter plus, we only have 3,600 words in there, which is a lot less than 4,700. Great. Act 1, Scene 3 in novel manuscript format. All right, so now we go. Now we're huddled in our warm shawls. So that's good. And let me capture this mega prompt. Oh, no, I did capture the mega prompt at one point in mine. Okay, yeah, I captured my mega prompt in me for mine, because I have to reuse it a whole bunch of times. And this is where we have to work slowly. Just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and be in Sudowrite, and I'm going to go ahead and generate beats for chapter 3 in case this doesn't work. So I'm going to create a chapter for chapter 3. I'm in alpha. I updated chapter 2 for the outline. I updated it in beta, this one, in this story engine. I have like way more information for chapter 1 and chapter 2. So that's another thing that I can do really fast, is I can summarize the chapters, but I didn't really finalize them. So we'll just leave it as is. So I don't think I made a whole bunch of different changes to it. We'll just work with what we've got. And then we'll come to alpha, and we will tell alpha to go ahead and generate the beats for chapter 3. So it'll do that. Meanwhile, we'll come over to Playground and we'll see where we're at. Okay, not bad. We are at 378. Oh, dear goodness. Okay. Pemberley boasts such remarkable gardens. Okay. Great. Write that scene even longer. Add in more conversation. Add in distractions. Make sure to have Mr. Bingley in the scene somewhere. And yeah, that's enough for right now. That's a good set of instructions for right now. So we'll click go. And we'll write that scene even longer, and we'll see if it can do it. And now we're encased in their woolen shawls. So now Charles Bingley is with them too. And let's go over to Sudowrite and we'll check chapter 3 here. 473. Okay. All right, we have drivers and guardrails. This is just prompt leakage that's happening right here. The statement as idiotic. These are better beats, though, than what I had before. Okay. Steal the conversation. Specifically, the taming of the shrew. Tactic of bringing... Encounters with Midsummer Night's Magic. So, feeling left out by trying to comment about the architecture of Pemberley. That's perfect. This should be... So this is, she's going to be making a statement about Shakespeare. A ridiculous thought that Romeo and Juliet is so romantic and how they were together at the end, which shows she has never read it. She has never read it or seen the play. Right? Kind of like that funny meme of like Romeo and Juliet is so romantic. It's actually a plot about two teenagers who fall in love and 5 people are dead. No, 4 people are dead. Yeah, something along those lines. Describe Caroline's statement as idiotic, revealing her lack of knowledge. Okay, so I got to check the beats here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7, 8 are going to go together. So yeah, she contributes in that. Excuse me. That check is about how Sudowrite runs the beats. That they run in pairs. So if 7 and 8 weren't run together, it would break that apart. So I need to combine it into one about Caroline's statement is idiotic. Show her statement to politely correcting her and explaining the plot and themes of Romeo and Juliet. Yes. Actually, I'm going to have Elizabeth leaves. And leaving Mr. Darcy to handle Caroline by smiling and walking ahead to talk to Mr. Bingley. He asks how Jane is, and Elizabeth tells him that she still coughs tremendously, but that Mr. Jones's tincture seems to be helping her sleep more and more. Any luck, Jane will be up for visitors tomorrow. Okay. Show Elizabeth's frustration with the turn of operations. She's not going to do that. That's not going to work. As Mr. Darcy walks faster and to try to catch up with Elizabeth and Mr. Bingley and Caroline explains she cannot walk this fast. She makes such a squabble. Charles turns around and suggests he and Elizabeth wait for them. Elizabeth bids them all a good afternoon and decides to walk back alone to see to her sister. And the scene with the three characters continuing their walk? No. And the scene with Elizabeth walking confidently away. Utterly perplexed with herself. That she feels jealousy over Miss Bingley and how such emotions are dangerous. For the rest of the time, they have to stay at Netherfield Park. She might just avoid Mr. Darcy and Caroline Bingley altogether. Was not worth solving the great mystery of who was attracted to whom. She became entangled in all of it. Okay, so I'm hearkening back to that chapter 1 that we did. All right, so these are pretty decent beats. I'm okay with the what's in parentheses. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and let most accurate run on these beats. Meanwhile, we'll go back to playground. Okay, so now we have 480 words. Okay, this is a fail. I'm just going to go with it's a fail. It's too much information, and I don't love this. So this is just too short. It's not particularly exciting me. I'll try running it in 16K and see if it can do this in 16K. 16K is the only one I've been successful in getting it to write longer and longer and longer, to the point that I've gotten it to write 1,500 words sometimes in one response. And this is actually better than what I wanted in 4. Great. Write even more. Oh, cancel it. Continue the story. Make the whole scene longer, up to 3,000 words. Now, it can't actually keep the word count as it's writing, but for some reason we find that when we say like 2,000 words, 3,000 words, it makes it write longer. Okay, so that's going on that. Does seem like we're just managing here. Okay, I think our best bet's going to be Sudowrite. 40? Oh, I like it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to suck it up and go with Story Engine and just be like, well, this is what I'm doing now. This is my life. It's doing the best with the beats. Although I could also just use the beats in Playground and stuff like that, maybe. But for this exercise, I think it's just faster. I'm just faster with Story Engine. The problem is that it creates a lot of words that I'm then going to have to edit. But there's worse things in life. So let me check the chat. I haven't checked the chat. Okay. Beat 10 is cruel. Okay. Tip about downgrading to 3.5 is great. Yeah, if it had worked. I think it's just too much information. Or if she's seen the play, she wasn't paying attention. No, she wasn't. Beat 10 is cruel. So the character motivation is always the same for the character, but can change presumably on other chapters. Yeah. So I wrote my characters or my characters in the beginning of our session 1 for all of Act 1, because for this particular story, the story kind of really works well in acts. So in Act 1, they're just at Netherfield Park, and the characters haven't monumentally changed yet. Then Act 2 is a different characterization, so I'm going to have to tweak that. And then Act 3 and Act 4 and Act 5. So I missed out on the word attracted in that last beat. Okay, thank you. Let me check on that. It was not worth solving the great mystery of who was. I see. Well, hopefully it'll figure that out. And okay, it's at 2,500 words now. But we're at 11 to 12, so it's done. for there lies your greatest strength. Perfect. So we will send this to Doc. Actually, yeah, we'll send it to Doc. Although I was naughty and I did not label it. So this is chapter 3 and this is most accurate. And we'll rename both of this. And just to check on my words, just to make sure. Yeah, okay, 671,000. So it's not, I lost words. I had to have lost like 200,000 words or something like that when it went over, and that's fine. Back to Story Engine. And now we create another chapter 3. Copy those beats over. Those are pretty good beats. To the point that I'm going to test them with 3.5 because I like them. And I'm going to say, we're going to generate first we're going to label this most accurate so we don't lose it in the silos. And right here, we're going to go best pros and we're going to say, go gadget. So that'll run. And I'm going to copy these beats. I'm going to give them a try in Playground. Oh, well, maybe not. So Playground wrote, although little did she knows, 943. So we're getting there. But some of it's, throw away, the little did she know. Okay. What could be added to make the scene even longer? Okay, so now it's going to be deeper dynamics. Conversation interactions. Let's see if it writes more than 943 words. Though part of the problem with this is that I'm really kind of attached to the beats that I wrote now, so I need to start this process over with the beats that I like and not the crappy beats that it wrote up at the top. And let's see here. This is 16K is fast. That's 897. So it's writing less. So we have diminishing returns, but this methodology does work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this out. Goodbye. I know it's painful to watch this, but we were experimenting. So I'm going to pretend that it wrote the step-by-step instructions. So it thinks it did. So we have this, and I'm going to say, great. Write Act 1, Scene 3, following your step-by-step instructions. So these are the beats that I'm running in Sudowrite right now. It might struggle, but we'll see if it just times out and then I just say continue. And if so, then that would be brilliant. I would be very happy about that. That's B. I don't know why I'm in beta. Oh, because I was going to run the beats for 4, I think, eventually. So Best Pros is actually doing well with my beats too. I wonder if it went off the rails. Because this is Best Pros. Yep. Should like nothing more. And see the charms yourself. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? His steps slowed as he savored the meter and form of the verse. He glanced up to find Elizabeth emerging from the trees, her skirts catching on brambles as she walked. She had not meant to intrude on his walk with Miss Bingley, but the path through the wood was a shortcut to Netherfield, and the day was already growing late. Miss Bennet, what a surprise. Thank you, but I would not wish to impose. That's no imposition. They're lovely today. The dappled light reminds me of a scene in The Taming of the Shrew. Do you enjoy Shakespeare? I'm excessively fond of Shakespeare. I quite agree. His comedies are brilliant studies of characters and societies. Do you have a particularly favorite play? Its spirited heroine and amusing battle of wits hold a special appeal, an apt choice that does not surprise me. Oh, and why is that, Mr. Darcy? The play's unconventional heroine has a liveliness of mind and strength of spirit that I imagine you can well appreciate. Just as the play's recalcitrant, I can never say that word, recalcitrant hero learns to value these qualities in his match. Okay. Oh, let me see here. I missed out on the chat. My bad. Apologies. Let me see. Oh, we're at an hour. A lot of words that you'll have to edit. Were you expecting that if Playground could write enough, it wouldn't need as much editing? So when I said about Story Engine Sudowrite writes so many words that I am like overwhelmed sometimes. And I'm like, oh no, it's a homework assignment. There's 3,000 words I have to edit. Oh, 2,500 words I have to edit because I know it's going to be a lot of work. Playground, sometimes I can massage and edit on the fly and be like, change this, change that, change this. And it's less changing when I get to the editing step with 16K. So we'll see how that goes. You missed the word attracted. Oh, and I probably still haven't fixed it. Why do you mean did that one? I watched Elizabeth write with Playground and it was beautiful. The story came out nice. Yes, I was getting clean draft. We were writing contemporary romance that day with the lab. We were doing like a soap opera one. What are some missing features in your opinion for Sudowrite? And do you all hear? So I use Mac. I'm allergic to PC. Not really. No, I just don't use PC. I use Mac. And yeah, about 80% of writers use Mac. Yes, that is true. Mainly because there's specialized software for Mac like Vellum to format and everything like that. And a lot of software, historically Adobe works better on Mac too. There's just a lot of stuff that, a lot of things that Mac was in publishing for, and Microsoft didn't necessarily really go after the market so much. And now it's kind of a new game. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. So back to I have totally lost what I was doing. All right. We got best prose. Let's go ahead and label it. Best prose. And then we will send it to the doc. I think I've got some good material for chapter 3 there that we could move on to chapter 4. Best prose. Just for shenanigans purposes, because we can do that. Let's validate what happened here in Playground. So we were using 16K. It started to write it. And I think it just kind of wrote a summary. Yeah, 554. At least 3,000 words. I think the day that we were doing it in lab, we were doing it differently. We were only running a few beats at a time. Corrected her. So now we're talking about the ground. So that's cool. Back. Word counter plus 714. So we've got more. Longer. Looks to Shakespeare often complexities unfold in the woods. Cool. I presume, indeed, Mr. Bingley, the scenery's truly captivating. This is going to be probably about 900 words. All right. Yep. 1,000 words. I'm done fussing with it. So what I would do at this point is I would take this into Story Engine, into Sudowrite proper, and I would start like expanding things, adding more to it. So Playground is a good tool to use if you want to draft fast. And I may have to get to that point because I just need the story in there and everything like that. But we're going to keep going with our Story Engine methodology because I like the idea of having a lot of words to kit bash together. And I can work on that. Did it keep the Petruchio? Okay. Great. More conversation back and forth. Let's add more conversation back and forth so that it understands what I'm looking for it to add. And we'll see if it can like keep the context window to keep that. But every time I'm clicking go, it's charging me for the system and it's charging me for all the words that it's written so far because I haven't deleted things because I'm wanting it to expand because it's getting longer each time. So that's where this kind of turns into, well, it turns it into exponential cost. Thankfully, we're talking pennies of it, like fractions of a penny. But before too long, suddenly it's 25 cents for this one, 10 cents for that one, which isn't too bad if that's the methodology that you want to work with. And I'm not even 100% against it. Let's see here. That's 1069. So I could keep going. But I think we're good, and I think we're going to move on to chapter 4. Are there any questions about how you would work with this with Playground? Before I move on, and I'm just going to kind of I'm going to do some speed running in Sudowrite. We've got 1 more hour left. My goal is to get through Act 1. If we can get Act 1 all done today, that gives me something to start playing with in the morning. And we only have chapters 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, and maybe I can work with Playground in the other one, but for now, I think we're going to work with Sudowrite. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to just put the chat to the side because I can't always see it. And I can't lose these words. I know y'all can understand that. So I'm going to just copy all of this. And we're going to come over into Notion. Actual success with 16K 3.5 limitedly. Oh, I forgot that it does that. It doesn't copy. Let's try this. Let's see if I can paste a match style. There we go. Okay, so you just have to paste a match style and it brings everything in. If you just do the other one, it just does assistant and user. That's way faster than doing the other one. All right, so we're gonna just use this as ancillary to help us beef up our beats. We'll start beefing up our beats faster. So 3 is done. We'll put a pin in that. Let's go on to chapter 4, and I'm going to use this one here. I'm actually going to use the same outline. So let me come back to Story Engine, and let me copy the outline here. Boop. So I changed the outline, and I think that might just lead to some frustrations on my part if I don't have the outlines be consistent with each other. I'll get confused as to what's what. So we did chapter 3. Good job. And actually, I'm actually impressed now because chapter 3 was really anemic in the outline. So chapter 4, we need more like Jane. I don't know if Mr. Bingley would be up there with her. I think goes to check on Jane and finds her not in her room, but dressed and in the drawing room with Mr. Bingley by the fire. And he is being most attentive. Elizabeth realizes that not only she beat Caroline Bingley at her own stupid game, Mr. Darcy, that flirting with Mr. Darcy would increase chances for her sister's happiness with Mr. Darcy. Elizabeth leaves to find him. Darcy in the library. Okay, good. And attentive, not intentive, attentive. And now I've got to copy this and bring it over into Alpha. Okay, so we're working with the same thing here. And I also should fix it in the other one too. Let me come here, the beats, the Sudowrite outline, because it's in the chapter format. And we'll paste it. Oh, sugar booger. Okay, I don't remember. So I only know I've changed up to chapter 4. So Oh, and chapter 5. I did change that too. Perfect. So we'll do this. We only have 2 more chapters to write. Yippee skippy. I think we might finish Act 1 tonight, and that's impressive. I've never done a whole act in one day. I don't think so. I mean, I've written 20,000 words in a day, but it was like dictation and go, go, go. So chapter 4, we're ready to rock and roll on, and that's going to be in this one. So let me go ahead and get the beats for chapter 4. So chapter 4, go, create chapter, and generate the beats. Okay, let me read the things here. Scrivener, hater Scrivener. Yeah. I hear you, Ingrid. I had to take pills. Yeah, Scrivener lost a couple of databases for me, but that's because I was saving them to the cloud long before Scrivener ever intended for that to happen. So yeah, I was really upset about that, having to rewrite that book, considering a whole session of editing. I'm not sure what that is in regards to. Very cool. All right, we are doing really, really well. I actually thought more people would be on since it's 9 o'clock, but that's okay. Oh, we have beats now, everyone. So Caroline Bingley becomes increasingly frustrated with her failed attempts to bring, while Elizabeth observes her with a determined expression. Have no choice but to include Elizabeth in their tea session because she's in the drawing room. Wait, she finds them in the drawing room because she's in the parlor with them and refuses to find another space to sit. So trays are ordered. To be polite, Elizabeth moves from the sun by the window and sits with the Bingley sisters, Miss Bingley and Mrs. Hurst, on the other side of the room by the fire. Okay. Caroline begins to confront Elizabeth during tea, challenging her to stay. Not yet. Making fun of her family and lowly connections in a snobbish way. Okay? Her sister Louisa aids in Caroline's manipulations. By asking Elizabeth pointed questions. And now we're going to have that. Caroline specifically challenges Elizabeth to stay away from Mr. Darcy, insinuating she would never make grade as a Mrs. Darcy. He's a gentleman of great intellect and strong constitution. he may feel this decision is best left to him. Elizabeth leaves the tea room, intent on checking on her sister. Elizabeth storms upstairs, expecting to find Jane in her sick room, but she's not there. Okay, 4 and 5 have to go together. Searching for Jane and asks the maid what happened, and the maid confesses that Miss Bennet requested a day gown and assistance to dress. She believes that Miss Bennet is downstairs with Mr. Bingley, but the maid does not offer more. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. What to do. She wants to leave Netherfield Park as soon as possible, and her heart aches over Caroline Bingley's stupid, aches is not with a K, Elizabeth, insipid comments. Characterization is Elizabeth does not go so far as to think she is in love with Mr. Darcy. She merely wishes to show Caroline Bingley that she is not social nothing. Elizabeth realizes that flirting with Mr. Darcy could increase the chances of her sister's happiness with Mr. Bingley, while simultaneously courting Caroline. Okay, so 1 and 2 goes together, 3 and 4 goes together, 5 and 6 go together. So that's 7 and 8. So I have to say she does not come. Elizabeth does not come up with a solution yet. Because in the next speech she does. Caroline at her game. She finds Mr. Darcy in the library. Okay, so this is a situation where I want to make these beats longer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my playground because I already saved all of this, so this is good. And actually, we'll just copy all that too. Okay, so we'll reset that. All right, so I'm going to paste this in, and I'm going to play set of step step-by-step instructions for Act 1, Chapter 4. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're good. Are we in Chapter 4 or Chapter 5? Chapter 4. This is what I have so far. Not that one. This one. Please continue the list for the scene, Act 1, Scene 4. Chapter 4 I did, so this is Scene 4. Messing with my mind. Where there is an awkward conversation between Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth, where she asks him about his slight of her at the Meryton Assembly. He feels relieved, thinking that Elizabeth might, I think I'm off. I think this is Chapter 5, Chapter 4. Yeah, this is all supposed to be Chapter 5. I thought so. I was like, this seems like it's a Chapter 5. This does not, so I'm good. I'm done. That's why I was like, wait a minute, hold on. So the beach just went too far. She decides to find him. And that is the conclusion of the scene. So there we go. And I got to fix the him because it doesn't make sense who the him is. So just kidding. She decides to find Mr. Darcy. So we've got the beats for Chapter 4. And over here, got the beats. We'll turn this into a page. We're only going to do 7, and that's fine because we can have shorter chapters because Chapter 1 is going to be probably 2 chapters. So it's all good. And then Chapter 3 beats, I have them saved here. But I like to keep my beats in my Notion just in case I ever have to go back and rerun things, which happens sometimes because if I change my story and then I'm like, okay, well, I need to, then I can just change the beats and I can just run the chapter again. So we're in Chapter 4. We've got it. Let's go ahead and go most accurate and let that run. And then over here, oh, I can't do Chapter 5 yet. So I should have run Chapter 5 beats first. That's okay. We'll get a start on it in here. Because these will be the chapter beats. And Act 1, Scene 5. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. And we're going to use 4 for this because it does better. Is shocked to get such a romantic reaction from Mr. Darcy. Who asks if he can seek her father's permission for courtship. There we go. So I'll submit that. So we'll start working on the beats for Scene 5. So, because this is actually Scene 5, Act 1, Scene 5. So we're getting that. 910. See, it always goes faster. Let me check the outline or the comments here. Okay, so we're still doing the backup methods. Yep. Yeah, nothing makes us all admit that we're on the same bandwagon when we talk about lost data. But how about this? Okay, it's 10:20 and I'm running prose right now for Chapter 4, and then I've already got the beats going for Chapter 5. And I get to drink my tea. And now we finally have reached the place where like I'm getting everything done. And we did, I think we're going to hit the rest of Act 1. We're going to finish out Act 1, at least raw AI material for me to edit up. I finally feel like I've got a system here. I'm running with it. And the story feels real. I hope it's helping when I'm making the beats so that you guys can see that I'm thinking in my head, like, what has to happen next? What do I see? What I'm doing is I'm actually seeing my my beats in my head. I understand that for those of you where you can't see the story in your head, I understand. That's why I'm also showing that sometimes I use Playground, and this thing here, I'm working on a set of step-by-step instructions. You guys have this prompting in your Future Fiction Academy, the hub thing, because we did it right here for beefing up the beats in Playground. So you had the system and then the information, and then I'm writing a set of instructions. This is what I have so far. Can you give me more? So you guys have these beats that can help you if you're not able to beef up the beats on your own. So we have this information here, and 9, and oh yes. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, let me see where this is at, because this one's running 4. Oh, and it's done. Cool. Best prose. No, that was most accurate. Just kidding. Gotta always check the things. This is why we create chapter, copy these beats, and we'll set best prose to run. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, Rudolph, I guess. Wrong season entirely. It's freaking July. Okay, so here's Playground. Elizabeth enters the library. The room is bathed in soft candlelight with countless books. Yep, we like that. She needs... yeah, they discuss what happened. The last lady left dancing must be an excellent party indeed. I don't think that that's in his, no. So I'll fix that statement. It just made that up. It hallucinated that. That's not from Pride and Prejudice. That is, it's what the actual line, and this is where we come back to the chronology. You can come here to where Mrs. Bennet, Elizabeth remains. We're not doing all of that. I kind of skipped it. But if we come to the Meryton Assembly, Darcy's snub, if I come here, it'll jump to it. What do you mean? She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me, and I'm in no humor at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men. You had better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles, for you are wasting your time with me. That's the line. I won't have all of that. She'll just remember she is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. So we'll twist on that in the actual lines there. Struggling to control her emotions. No, we're not going to do that. No. Not specifically them. Nope, it's all kind of like, it's all twisted around here. But that's okay, because remember I saved that really sexy thing that Best Prose wrote for Darcy and Elizabeth in the library already. So we can come up with that. Okay. I like the start of this for beats though. This is not terrible. Coming over here. Oh, the sun's dipping lower. That's sun, man. Best prose. Okay, so this is chapter 4. Send to doc. Oh, nope, don't send to doc. I'm in the wrong project. This is beta. I only made that mistake once. Okay, so coming over to chapter 4, we will capture most accurate and then copy best prose, come over to alpha, close out, come down here, add new. And I'm going to paste in that one and call this chapter 4. I don't know which one it was. Oh, it's most accurate. It's long. Add new. Now, I want to remind everyone that these are not, this is not final. Like, I'm just copying and pasting in this. This is, if you watch session 2, I'm going to have to do that exact same methodology where I'm kit bashing them together, where I'm working on it. These chapters are not kit bashed together. I'm just getting the raw AI to kind of follow narrative logic. Best prose. And last but not least, we come into Story Engine and we run the beats for chapter 5. So create the chapter and generate. And we are at 10:25 p.m. We're at chapter 5. Not bad getting to act 1 all the way and finding out how many words we're writing. Oh, thank you that it's interesting to see how I write out the beats. I appreciate that. This is now just the speed run part. I expected to do this in Playground. Editing is going to be the slog. But honestly, I like the editing part. That's where it just feels like interactive reading. The hard part is making sure that it sticks to the beats. And since I'm live, I'm doing this. On the off chance, I know I'm not validating these chapters as I go as well. Oh. Now this wrote very weird stuff here. Interesting. What did I put into what did it consider in the chapter here? Oh dear. So it wrote all of this and I got these very strange beats. I've never seen beats like this in my life. All right, we'll see how they run, but I don't think that's going to run. I don't think that's going to run right, but we'll try it. So I'm letting it run chapter 5. She had not come here to moon over Mr. Darcy, but she did. You have not forgotten. Oh, it knew not handsome enough to tempt you. It was a vain and stupid attempt to make. The truth is, your lively eyes and clever wit had already begun to tempt me beyond all reason, and it frightened me. Frightened you? Oh, yes. Oh, indeed. I hope you can forgive me for my stupidity. Allow me the chance to make amends. I see. No, not at all. That is to say... Ooh, might I hope that you're tempted by more than just my words? Oh, yes. Lifting her hand to press a fervent kiss against her knuckles. See that you do. For I warn you, I shall not be easily won. You cannot mean that. You disliked me not a fortnight past. I was wrong to do so. Okay. Yeah, no, this is actually really good. I'd have to edit this ending part, but that's okay. I'm going with this is good enough that I can expand on it and it's decent. Wait, why are we at 13 and 14? What did we do here? Oh my gosh, there's 16. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that and it's fine. Interesting. It basically just ran a dialogue draft and it's doing a really well scene. Okay, so this is important. Dialogue drafts are very, very important for running it with best prose. So I know I have some friends in this room right now who like best prose and we didn't know how to make it work. Apparently, the best way to make best prose work is forget all the rest of the stuff. Just put the dialogue in there. It seems to just fill it out just fine. Okay, and create the chapter 5. I guess we'll copy these beats over and we'll run most accurate. Oh, we got a label. I hate labeling. I wish it just said it there. Most accurate run. Let's see how most accurate runs with the dialogue draft. These dialogue beats. I might just work with dialogue beats. Oh, can you imagine how much faster it would be to draft if I just have to make a list of the dialogue that I hear in the story? That would be great. So, and then we'll do some recap. And I think we're going to start working on Act 2 because we were supposed to do that anyway. because I feel like I'm finally in a flow. Although I'm talking to myself. We should make conversation. What do you do if story engine refuses to produce text in order of the beats? I'm running into an issue where in every attempt it's starting with beats 8 through 10. Christina, that's a good question. It's hard for me to know if I can't see what you're doing. If you're part of FFA, we can do that as part of a lab that you're in where you can show what's going on. If story engine refuses to produce text in order of the beats, every attempt is starting with beat 8 through 10. Yeah, I don't know. Did you change your beats? I'm assuming you changed your beats and something must be off about the formatting, or you might have a glitch. My first thing would be I would check my formatting. I would also try copying and pasting the information about Story Engine so far into a new document, into a new project entirely. You know how I'm running 2? Into a new project entirely and see if that works. I would play around until I saw like what's going on. And if it's still not working, then I would contact them and say, hey, something's not right. But in most cases for me, when something glitches, it's usually a plugin or something I have that's not doing right. Shall we start anew? When does that start? How does this doing? This thing is, okay. Oh, this is going to be monstrous. That's okay. I'm going to have a really fun time. I'm going to have a really fun time editing this chapter. This is going to be a delight. And if it's a delight for me to edit, and this is at the end of Act 1, that's perfect for my genre. So I know for those of you who really love your genre, you know what I'm talking about when it's like, oh, those perfect scenes. Like when you finally get to Darcy and Elizabeth on their own. You are perceptive. Okay, this is a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to kit bash this with Chapter 5 because I like this characterization of Mr. Darcy saying that he's shy. I didn't. The beats just did it. It just did it. And so Chapter 5 was in this format of the talk, and I guess it talked about talking. But guess what? I'm writing dialogue draft beats from now on. This is fantastic. So we're gonna move into Act 2, and we're just gonna start with dialogue. We're gonna go with that. So kit bashing, with prompting and AI coming up, it feels like text-based kit bashing would need a specific term to distinguish it from the 3D model, or should we use the term? No, that's where the term comes from. AT. So kit bashing is when you take from different models and put them together. What do we do with AI? We're taking from different models and we're putting them together. So that's why I call it kit bashing. It's not a literary term, and it may not catch fire, but I think it makes sense because we start using terminology of like, I'm going to edit them together. I'm going to combine the samples and things like that. Using the term edit, I really just feel like we need our own vocabulary for working with AI because some of these skills are innovative skills or twists of skills in new ways. For example, beats. We're all like beats and beats and beats. I originally called them commands. I still stick with commands because you have to have that interstitial step. So commands, it actually works better when you give the instructions on how to write. And that's what I want to do. You thought prose only looks at beats. Prose actually looks at genre, style, characters, and then this chapter's beats. So that's a good question. I don't know. It knows that they're in the library, and it knows this information. It knows this information, the summary information, when it's writing prose. I do know that. So it does know the summary information for just that chapter when it's writing it. So it's enough for the setting and everything. I'm also kind of, remember how sometimes I struggle because it'll assume I want the character of Pride and Prejudice. On the flip side of that coin, I also get bennies in that it'll just assume the setting and stuff like it knows it. But sometimes it'll be wrong and like we're at Netherfield Park and then it's like, oh, you're at Pemberley. No, we're not at Pemberley. Holy Toledo. Where are we at? This is at 3,000 words. This is going to be a very long chapter and I love it. Your words are a balm. However, I must allow myself time to reflect. Of course, take all the time you need. I shall be here awaiting your decision. Yeah, that's all purple prosy. We're going to cut that. It should be done. Oh my goodness. The pages of a book whose ending had yet to be written. Kill me now with common cliches. If anyone else heard the Natalie Imbruglia song, I'm not the only one, right? Of Unwritten. All right, let's save this because we just finished Act 1, and let's do a quick recap to make sure that we know we are in alpha. So, okay, this is good. Let me do my labeling. Most accurate. All right, here we go. So send it to the doc. This is the Elizabeth button. I insist on it. When they were launching this thing, they asked me, what's the one thing we need before we launch? And I was like, we need a button to send it to documents. So that I'm calling it my button because I was insistent that we needed it. Best prose. Come down here and send a doc. Most accurate. All right, let's see the tally of what we have left to edit, shall we? So there's still 754 raw words. We are at, our master outline is still at 3,000. I'm going to start adding up, I guess, what we did this session. Oh my goodness, did we just write 3, 4, and 5 in an hour and a half, everyone? I think we just wrote 3 chapters in an hour and a half. I mean, we haven't finished them, but there's like good words there. It followed narrative logic. So chapter 3 was 2551. I'm getting the word counts on the top right. That was for most accurate. Best prose. Okay, best prose for chapter 3 is, come on, don't be rude. Go to the next one, 1874. Chapter 4 is 1973, and this is most accurate. And then best prose, which we get a little bit of a respite there. 1570 best prose. And then we got the mama jamma of a chapter that's going to probably take me hours to fix, but it's going to be fun. Because this one, best prose, was 2,500. When your best prose is 2,500, you know your most accurate is going to be like ridiculous. Most accurate was 2,000. Wait a minute. Something's not right. They can't be the same number, and they're not. Best prose. And they're the same. Okay. So this one's a duplicate. I know what happened. So when you go in and out of Story Engine, it will rearrange them in order. Yes, confirm I'm deleting that. It'll rearrange them in order of not when you ran them. And this is something I've talked to them about because it messes it up for, yeah, this is the most accurate one down here. So it moved, it'll run, when you're in here and you don't go out of the room or go out of the space, excuse me, it's oldest to newest, left to right. But when you come back in, they rearrange to newest to oldest. And it's like, keep the form, like they need to stay, or better yet, could we rearrange the silos? That's what I would like to do. But you know me, I like to ask for everything. All right, so now we are at 3936 for most accurate. All right, and we'll rename this most accurate. I would say I would take what my original methodology was is I was looking at the two things and thinking I would end up something in the middle with the models, but that's not the case. When I edit and I'm kit bashing manually, I am actually ending up with more words than even the longest one. And that makes sense because I'm bringing in stuff from both A and B, and then I'm also being the C. I'm bringing my own writing into that too. So I'm actually just going to add up how many words these are because I think that I can get pretty close when I'm done with it. Because best prose for chapter 1 was 2,000 words. Most accurate was 2,500 words. I've already edited it to 3,100 words, 3,184, and there's still 754 more raw words in the kit bash to edit. So there's still 1,000 words left. So I'm having to remind myself what I think it's accurate, or it's okay for me, and I'll ask you guys what you think. I think it's still fair if I just add these numbers together, what I have, and go, that's probably where I'm going to end up, somewhere in that realm between those. So adding all these words up between chapters 3, 4, and 5, because chapter 2 I still have best prose was chapter 2 was I know I already did this in our accountability, the check-in, the stats. This was 2933, most accurate. All right, here we go. Let's count them up. All right, so I'm just going to do the total right now because this is for this session of 3, 4, and 5. So we had 2,551 for most accurate, plus 1,874 for best prose for chapter 3. That was 4,425 words. That's I think chapter 3 will end up being about 4,000 words once I'm done with it. Then I have 1973, a good year, plus 1,570, probably not as good of a year. 3,543 words was chapter 4. And that one may end up a little bit shorter, but I'm okay with it. 2539 plus 3936, 6,470 words. No way is that scene going to be 6,475 words when I'm done with it. So that one, I'm going to estimate that I would actually end up with probably about 3K. Yeah, 3K is fine. So if I assume that I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's a lot of words. So right now I'm sitting at 6475 plus 3543 plus 4425 plus 1830, which is chapter 2, plus 2933 plus 754. Everyone, I have right now sitting in my possession 19,960 words that I have to edit for Act 1. Either this is going to be a very long story, or I'm going to have to figure out a way to probably cut some of the plot line from the story. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So we are at 10:43. Let me check in with you all. How are we feeling? I know I've been a little bit manic here for this last little bit because I've just been so excited that I'm in a flow and going. Any questions? I'm checking the chat here a little bit. Okay, we don't have as many people watching as long today. So the sci-fi will top out at 45K or so. Okay, so Ingrid's talking about a book she's doing. Oh, thanks, Simon, for the great numbers. I appreciate that. I love it, Ingrid. It doesn't make it, adding AI doesn't make it faster, at least not for me, but more fun. Yeah, I'm the same way. I am same way. Okay. How many people like the idea of, I liked these dialogue beats. Who votes we move on to Act 2 and try to write what the first chapter beats with this dialogue beat methodology? Because I don't really want to edit. I think we can do that in the last 15 minutes. We'll do these dialogue beats together. Okay, so let's take a look at the story engine here. And let's look at chapter 1 of scene of Act 2, which is chapter 6. Oh, this is going to be a very long scene because there's an embarrassing family dinner. Yeah, so don't click that generate button. Let me go to chapter 6 and I'll click create chapter. And I'm going to generate the beats and see what happens if we get these dialogue beats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the beats that it comes up with, and then I'm going to probably, for ease of time, I'm probably going to take those beats into Playground, maybe ChatGPT, probably Playground, and ask it to write beats for each, write examples, dialogues for all the different characters for those beats, and see what we can get. Yeah, because we're not getting the dialogue anymore now. We're just getting this family awkward dinner. All right, so let's grab these. This is kind of like a rewrite of the beats. I'm going to actually work with ChatGPT for this. So I'm going to use GPT-4, And I'm going to say, read these instructions for writing a scene for a Pride and Prejudice variation, fan fiction variation, meaning this should not have to match exactly the original work by Austen. Okay, so we're going to read those, and I'm going to say, rewrite them, keeping what's there, and add in sample dialogue for the characters for each item on the list. If this works, I'll put this prompt in there. I'll put the prompt in the Notion page. So the arrival. Such a fair maiden, engrossed in her studies, epitomizes virtue. Jane and Elizabeth on the porch could not help but observe, dear sister, the fervor with our cousin admires Mary. His attachment is almost as extravagant as his manners. Do I spy you reading Fordyce's sermons? Okay. Insightful. I serve the noble Lady Catherine de Bourgh, a paragon of virtue, grace, and grandeur. Mary is caught between the intrigue. Most interesting. Okay. I am pleased to announce a ball at Netherfield in 2 weeks hence. The scene concludes. A ball. Perhaps it shall be an opportunity to know Mr. Collins better. So I'm already realizing I'm going to have to add another scene before this where Mr. Darcy and Mr. Bingley talk to Mr. Bennet. Or maybe I won't, and we'll just go like that scene already happened and assume that it did. So now I've got these chapter 6 beats. These are a modification, so I'm going to create chapter 6 again and copy and paste these in. Oh dear. I've lost the numbers. Okay. That's not fantastic. So let me try pasting matching style. Nope, did not number them. When this happens, this formatting, what's going to happen is it's going to write a whole bunch of words. I've tested this before and it's kind of a problem. So I'm going to just number these. These extra spaces, what ends up happening is that it will run. Actually, we'll do it so you can see it because that's probably the best thing. Not like I don't have the words. But when I run this, what's going to happen is it's going to run this as 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4. This is 5 and 6. This is 7 and 8. This is 9 and 10. This is 11 and 12. It's going to go all the way down to 24. So I'm going to run Best Prose because it's the fastest, and we'll click Go, and you'll see how that works. So dialogue beats for the win. And there we go. Mary. A vision of virtue, he thought, struck by her modest beauty. And there's that piece of dialogue that we wanted. Oh, nope, it jumped into it. It did keep 1 and 2. So never mind. It didn't. They must have fixed it or something like that, but it didn't pick up the space there. Other times I've seen it, it thinks that it's a bunch of different beats. Oh, but it's got Fordyce's sermons. That's in beat 3. So yeah, we do have beat bleeding. We have they're bleeding over, and it's repeating itself. All right, I'm going to pause that because I'm not going to run that because it's going to keep messing up. It's both. I think it's because I'm running it in Best Prose, which is the most sensitive of the models. If it's not in the right formatting, it gets confused. So let's just go ahead and we'll just fix it. No extra carriage return. While it's finishing up that beat. No. Delete that. 4, 5. Press the delete key. 6. I mean, it's not that hard to number 12 things. 7, 8. And I mean, this is a skill too of being able to recognize that this is not in the right formatting. It helps that I do a lot of story engine work. Delete 11. And now we have 12. Okay. I'll clear all of that out, and I'm going to click restart so that it's fresh. And now it's doing better. Mary Bennett. Oh, I like this better. And it didn't jump into Mr. Collins's head because that's a terrible place to be. And then it jumps into the observed dear sister. As though she were a goddess descended from Olympus. Lizzie, I like it. Do I spy you reading Fordyce's ceremony? I find the book edifying. She searched. Oh, we have some, I don't know, it caught off. It cut off there. And, yep, Claude is the visceral details of the wooden chairs. So people see this and they're like, oh no, it's terrible, we're broken. But honestly, I don't mind it at the end of the day, because if it's like this, then I can just take that into, like I showed in session 2, I can grab this and go expand, and it'll just expand that into it. And that's a fast way to write. It's kind of like a shorthand. But it is better with most accurate. The tension eased. Yeah, this whole scene's going to have to be more deeply imagined here, especially with a funny meal with Mr. Bennett. I mean, that's like a whole scene in and of itself. Without the sound of Mr. Collins' voice, one would think you dislike our cousin's company, Mary. Not at all. I simply grow weary of his ceaseless prattle. And this is the thing about writing with AI. This is not bad. Like, many readers would be very happy. For me personally, though, I'm the senior writing partner in this partnership. I know that the way that this outline is right now, with how much I've written, it's a little bit too jumpy. There's a couple of scenes missing. Like, I need the girls to arrive at Longbourn, and they can talk. I don't need to do more Netherfield Park scenes. Like, we've hit enough of the notes. But I need them to return to Longbourn and talk, like while the gentlemen are downstairs talking to Mr. Bennett. I won't really know what Act 2 is going to be until I kind of edit Act 1. This is kind of one of those things of, like, the way I write, I'm a plantser. So I'll know more, and my outline usually changes as I'm writing the book. So I'm going to grab this. This is okay. And I don't want to lose them. But I'm not going to go ahead and run it Miss Accurate, because I think that, I think I need to do more thinking, and I need to do some analysis. Plus, we have 7 minutes left of the session. So I will copy chapter 6. So I have both chapter 6 beats. So back over here where I had the beats, I got 4 beats. I need to move this down. Okay, there we go. So I need to capture the beats. Chapter 5 beats. Chapter 6 beats. And turn that into a page. Oh dear. It's okay. We'll just take this out. We'll just make it a new page. Over here, I need to get my chapter 5 beats, which are right. These were weird because these were dialogue beats. They were so bizarre. And then chapter 6. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to get started at 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm probably going to start editing in the morning. I may not capture that. I don't think I need to capture all the editing. That wasn't part of the scope, which just write 50,000 words. But I know I definitely will feel better if I kind of have a better understanding of those 19,000 words that I generated. They're a little bit crazy. So we're going to do this one this is the ChatGPT enhanced beats. And let me get that prompting. ChatGPT 4. And this kind of captures the original story engine beats, so that's fine. And then I will grab this as the example for here because I promised this prompt to you guys. It's kind of another beefing up beats situation. So I'll stick it here that we tried. Dialogue beats attempt. And we paste that in. So you guys have that information because it was ChatGPT. It wasn't enhanced. It's just ChatGPT. So there was that. And then this was the response. Okay. Wow, look at that. Yes, you can see that Notion page. So the Notions page, the main Notion page here, if I share, copy the web link again, and I'll put it in chat. It's also in the description. So that's the one that I've been keeping track of. But for Future Fiction Academy, the actual members of Future Fiction Academy, that all of this is going to get turned into like a whole workbook class. There's definitely some things I need to smooth out process-wise. I think this is going well as an experiment. You guys in the Discord can let me know. But I think that, I mean, we technically did 20-some thousand words today because we wrote the grand total. That is finally the grand total, actually, now that I look at it, is if we go to if we go to Playground, no, Sudowrite Alpha, that's what I need, Sudowrite Alpha. The original chapter 1 was 2034, and then most accurate was 2549, plus the other like 1,000 words that I wrote typing into it, because this is at 4,000 words. That's more than those added together. Or, no, not quite, but a little bit, and there's still 750 left to edit. So best prose, most accurate, if I add those up to it on this one. So we had the AI generated words with Story Engine. We did 19,960 for chapters 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, and I guess now 6 too. And then there was 2334 plus 2549. And that was 24,543 before chapter 6 has even been brought in. Which, let me do that because I'll lose it if I don't. Well, I won't lose it, but I might fear losing it. So let me go ahead and grab. So this is what I mean. It rearranges it. So I'll just send this to Doc and call it best prose. So that's another 1,800 words. So yeah, 27,000 words to validate. Now, granted, I don't have all the chapters written for the book as far as plot progression, but I'm also choosing to use 2 models. So I'm kind of doubling the work. So if you divide 26,000, about 13,000 words is probably what I'm going to end up once I've cleaned everything up. And that's probably a good rule of thumb indication there that you're going to end up, if you do this methodology with the best prose and the most accurate, you're going to end up generating twice as many words than what you actually need. But for me personally, in my writing style, it makes it easier for me to get ideation and to keep running and going that way. All right, and our last check on Sudowrite's words. I'm at the end of the night for session 3, end of session 3, because I haven't done anything more. We're at 65,810. If I compare that, last little comparison. I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers and it's the end of the night. I said I was going to write that number down. Where did I write that number down at? Come on, little notebook. All right, let's see here. I wrote it down at the top of a page. I remember that. Oh, right here. I have it. 67,000. Okay. So we're pretty on track right there. So when we started session 3 tonight, we had 674,276 words. I now have 655,810. That's 18,436. So just in this one session of 2 hours, I ran through 18,400 words on Sudowrite. However, vast majority of those are good words that I can use to edit and kit bash and massage into a full chapter. Okay. Any last questions for tonight? And again, we get started at 10 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time, same YouTube channel. Bring your friends. The other 3 are there. And I don't know what we're doing in the morning. I think I'll give you guys an update if I'm able to get up early and edit, and then give you the update on that. And we'll move forward with trying to write the next ones. So, oh yes, I will see you tonight, Kirsten. Very much so. And again, the link to join FFA is in the description and everything like that. We have a lot of cool lab sessions coming in July. What I'm doing today, we have plans to put together entire experiments. They won't necessarily be public, those other ones, about running novellas, serialized content. But I think we learn a lot when we do these projects all together of like, okay, we're going to get together, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to go. So, all right. You're not going to be here at 9 a.m. Central. Well, I'm going to be here at 10 a.m. Eastern, but that's okay. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. Thank you.